Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Burnell. Welcome to NECN Business. And I'll be joined by a local CEO who just got a major grant from the NFL to come up with a way to diagnose concussions quickly on the sidelines. Concussions and sports. It's a problem that leagues, both at the professional and the amateur level, are trying to stay one step ahead of. Today, the NFL awarded a Massachusetts company a $500,000 grant in the hopes that one day they'll be able to better understand and quickly, we're talking on the sidelines, diagnose concussions. Joining me now, Kevin Hrusovsky. He's the CEO and executive chairman of Quanterix, based out of Lexington, Massachusetts. Kevin, thanks for coming in. I've read up a little bit on this. We've talked a little bit about it. It's a fascinating bit of technology, a machine that essentially measures microscopics in the blood to diagnose.
Absolutely, Brian. And first, thanks for having us on. It's just incredible to have an opportunity for this company to get exposed the way that they're getting exposed because of GE and the NFL. And what it can do basically is you have proteins in your body, and a lot of times they end up in your blood. But in this case, when the brain gets damaged through a traumatic injury of some sort, maybe a hit on the sidelines or even the military where maybe a blast goes off, there's little proteins that actually get into the blood. And nobody really thought that was possible. And our machine and our disc can actually measure those proteins in blood. And nobody today can do that. So it's really an exciting way for potentially the NFL and others to understand more quantitatively what's going on in the human body. So we're real excited about this development.
And so you and I were talking about it earlier. For the NFL, that's kind of the sexy headline of this. And to be able to eventually someday, right now the testing takes a little time, but they're looking for, hey, in 15 minutes on a sideline, can we know, yes, he does, no, he doesn't have a concussion. But the potential for this to diagnose pretty much anything is almost unheard of.
It's remarkable, Brian, because we're getting this exposure due to the traumatic brain injury or the concussion, which really has created a lot of trauma throughout a lot of families around the world and a lot of different sectors of the world. But you're right, cancers and also heart attacks are things that we can maybe see before there are symptoms with these proteins in blood. And that's a lot of the real fascination to this magical technology, is the ability to see these proteins long before the actual symptoms of the disease show up. And so we're trying to convert what we call sick care into preventative health care. We think that these technologies, looking inside the blood, almost on an annual physical, you're going to be able to see things long before the event occurs. And we think that will allow us to cure things much sooner and maybe be a much healthier race as we get into our 90s.
Well, and when you mention cancer, the first thing that jumps to my mind is pancreatic. Oftentimes, it's diagnosed when it's way too late. It sounds like this could not, diagnose may even be the wrong word, know that it's coming far sooner.
Yeah, there's two different things going on. One is the ability to see that this is coming on, but then help the pharmaceutical companies and other companies invent treatments to actually cure it once you have that issue. And our technology is being used by both the folks that are trying to invent treatments as well as to get that early detection. And so pancreatic cancer is a really tough one, but we have a new publication that came out yesterday on prostate cancer and the ability to see these markers early stage. And we think someday, even breast cancers, we might be able to look in the blood and maybe eliminate the mammogram, which would be an incredible feat. But that's longer term, but we have this ability, we think, to allow private investigators around the world to use the technology to unlock this new secrets to life in the blood.
It's remarkable. Kevin Hrusovsky, the executive chairman of Quanterix, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it very much.
My pleasure, Brian. Thank you.